Hello, everyone. My name is Richard Robinson, and I'm from Lead Family. Firstly, thank you for your time today. I appreciate you have hectic schedules, so I'll try and keep you engaged and inspired for the few minutes that we have together. I'd like to share with you today some thoughts around gathering deeper customer insights through game mechanics. In my mind, the number one issue facing marketers today, irrelevant of whether you're B2B or B2C, is data. It is, or at least it should be, the lifeblood of your organization. However, the data regulations driven by GDPR, which have been in place for a couple of years now, have changed the way and the type of data that we can collect, store, and use. This has been a big change for many companies. However, in terms of advertising, we're about to go through an even more seismic shift. By the end of this year, many advertisers are going to see that their options for targeting audiences online will change. With Google switching off third-party cookies in Chrome next year, advertisers' ability to target based on those cookies is going to vanish. In addition to this, Apple, with iOS 14, is restricting third-party cookie usage within the walled gardens. And the impact of this is already being felt by many companies as they're simply unable to use the data to reach their audiences. With the changing landscape and the decreasing availability of data, in particular from third parties, brands are going to have to change their strategy. For me, it's critical for brands to collect their own first and zero-party data. This way, they're able to far better control their own destiny, be able to provide high levels of customer experience that buyers are looking for, not only digitally, but across the full business. But the question is, how do you do that? Hopefully, over the next few minutes, I can share with you some insights, tips, and tricks around how to use game mechanics to actually do that. Let me start by setting the scene a little. For many of us, business is tough. We're all very familiar with the current economic situation, that the global economy has decreased in size by about 5% last year. And that at the end of Q1 this year, the UK's economy was still 9% smaller than pre-COVID times. The situation has also changed the way that we act as consumers. And one of the main things that we're seeing is that consumers are becoming increasingly fickle. This research by McKinsey shows that 61% of the UK consumers have changed the stores, the brands, or the way that they have shopped in the last 12 months. But as marketeers, we know that being close to our customers, understanding their needs and providing them with more personalized experience improves the chances of making them stay loyal and buy from you. Again, the research from McKinsey shows that 80% of consumers are more likely to purchase from brands that give them more personalized experience. And I'm sure that you're all very familiar with that. However, as marketeers, we're falling short. Almost 2/3 of consumers stated that they are disappointed with the personalization experience that they're receiving when interacting with brands online. Something is going wrong somewhere. So we know that consumers are looking for more personalization. That this experience actually drives a higher likelihood of them buying and staying loyal, which leads to more revenue for you and me. In fact, Boston Consulting Group shows that firms that use first-party data in a smart way see as much as twice the revenue uplift as those that aren't using it at all. So somewhere there is a data disconnect. Firstly, let me start by saying that this disconnect is really coming to the fore because 15% of consumers feel that they're not getting good value from the data that they're actually exchanging with brands. And why is this? Well, it's down to multiple reasons. Perhaps we're collecting the wrong type of data. Perhaps we're not using the data in the right way, or even using that data at all. Perhaps it's down to the fact that it's increasingly difficult to capture the relevant type of data to enable this personalization that consumers are craving and looking for. I'm sure it's a mix of all of these things, but how do we break this cycle and capture the right type of data in the right way that enhances that consumer experience and drives long-term business value for you and for your organization. To answer this, we need to think about what we are, who we are, the fact that we're humans and the way that we act and also react to different things. As humans, when we're sharing data, subconsciously, we run what we call a privacy calculus. We weigh up in our minds the benefits and the disadvantages of sharing information with a brand. That simple question, is it worth it or not? This calculation may be based on really important things such as data security. For example, if I share my details on this website, is there a chance that the data will be misused or in fact actually stolen? But it can also be based on more mundane matters, such as, can I be bothered to fill out this registration form? It's too long. As consumers, we continually assess this value exchange. Is it worth my time doing this, or is it not? As brands, we need to reduce these barriers as much as possible. And the easiest and most effective way of doing this is through creating real, tangible value exchange. And if we do this, we can then get to that nirvana of the situation where there's a win-win, a win for the consumer and the win for us as a brand. So that's easy to say, but how do we do it? Well, this is where gamification comes in. Gamification is a versatile tool that can build those connections between consumers and their brands in unique ways, reducing the costs or barriers to information sharing, making that subconscious privacy calculus one based on a true and a real value exchange. So how does it work? Basically, it's all about the way that our brains work. It's very much around the interactions that we have. Our brains are predisposed to engage with game mechanics, whether that be to compete, to undertake a challenge, to understand how we fit in with the group, to gain rewards, or simply to have fun. Playing games creates chemical reactions in our brains, which we all love, meaning that we want to play and we want to engage. We want to participate because of this value exchange, i.e. that it's fun and it's rewarding. And we're prepared to share more data and insight because the balance of that value exchange is right. In fact, consumers are opting in to engage with brands rather than feeling that they're being marketed to or just being sold to. And it's certainly far better and less daunting for a consumer than actually completing a very long registration form where they feel that you're taking data away from them. And by making these interactions engaging, you're able to collect more data more easily, and that data is of higher quality. Let me give you a quick example. This is a game example from Montana, a leading European furniture retailer. And they're inviting prospects and consumers to answer preference questions through this very simple swipe mechanic. Questions such as, do you like vibrant colors? How do colors make you feel? Would you like a particular color in your house? Or what type of furniture do you like? You can see that this is such an easy and enjoyable process for the consumer. And this is a really valuable way of collecting zero-party data, this preference data. And as the quote says, and this quote's from Merkle in their consumer experience report, that you no longer have to infer preference through secondary behavior. You can be explicitly told this directly from the source, that is the consumers. I'd like to bring this to life in a little bit more detail with a slightly more detailed example. And this example is from Masai Clothing. And they're an international fashion brand headquartered out of Copenhagen and selling across 25 markets. And they're known for their design in women's clothing, particularly those that prefer timeless and feminine and personal style. Masai ran a personality test and across multiple countries, where respondents answered a series of questions about clothing fit, preferred shape, style, what respondents dressed to accommodate or to accentuate, what colours or patterns that they liked as well. And based on this, respondents received information about their shape, which included general guidelines on what types of clothes best matched their preferences. So Masai saw some tremendous results out of this. Firstly, and most importantly, their consumers loved the game. In fact, over 160,000 people participated. Out of this, they gained 60,000 new permissions, registrations for email communication. And they had an average cost per lead that was reduced by over 50%. So based on their ultimate or their initial aim, which was to generate quality leads, this really stood up and really drove a huge amount of interaction for them. But if this result wasn't enough, they actually found that those new customers to them that went through a game actually bought products 4 times more quickly than those new customers that didn't go through this process. So the experience was a great accelerator for the sales cycle as well. And the results very much speak for themselves. However, there's more to come. Masai also found that they had captured an extremely large and unique data set, a coverage of which they just hadn't even dreamed about. The insights on consumer preferences, buying intention, body type, and much, much more. So this data actually enabled them to do a lot of different things. It actually helped them to really use the insight across multiple areas of their business. For example, the data fed into hyper-personalization for marketing, communication, and their customer experiences. It informed decision-making around geographic products and style, their preferences. For example, it quantifiably told them that consumers in one country preferred a different look and a different styles to those in other countries. The insights was also used in product development, bringing a data-driven approach to ensure that the designs and products that their audience had told them that they wanted, that they were able to produce and be able to sell. The information also helped them better plan across retail and wholesale channels, making sure that they had the right products in the right stores to meet customers. So really, really intensive and incredibly useful data and insight that they were able to use, again, purely from just capturing data in a way by using gamification that the customers really, really engaged with. So why have I spent the last 5 or 10 minutes or so giving you an overview of how gamification can help capture deeper insights about your customers? Well, Lead Family is a software as a service company, and we've developed a platform that enables marketeers to create, build, and execute online games to support their business and marketing objectives. The platform has over 30 game concepts or templates built in, taking out any requirement at all for coding. You simply choose the game format that meets your objective. You add your own creative so that you have a completely bespoke look and feel. And then you push the game out via your execution channels. And that could be on your website, it could be via email, in your social media feeds, or through your advertising. A couple of game examples I've shared with you today have been developed by marketing teams of our customers using our platform. Our team is very consultative and we're there to help every step of the way. But the control, flexibility, and agility very much sits with our customers. It really is that self-service approach that gives you the complete control. So, some final thoughts, and drawing my presentation to a close, I've got a couple of things I'd like to leave you with. Firstly is that data is the lifeblood of your marketing, or if it's not today, then it really needs to be. It's what drives you closer to your customers, to understand your customers, and therefore build better, more personalized relationships with them. Collecting and intelligently activating first and zero-party data will be the key to your success now, next, and in the long term. And finally, gamification or game mechanics are extremely powerful tools to help you capture data and insight that will enable you to get, keep, and grow your customers, and ultimately drive business impact every day. Thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it. I hope you found what I've shared of interest. If you'd like to find out how gamification can deliver everyday business impact to your business, then I'd love to hear from you. I have some contact information here on the slides. So thank you very much indeed for your time.